We were in this 2-bedroom apartment, which was okay for the two of us. And then we had a baby, and it was still okay, but the room was getting a little tight. And so we had been shopping around the neighborhood for a bigger unit, but we were finding everything was about the same size and the same price. So that was getting a little frustrating. And then our neighbors and friends over here said they were moving. And long story short, we looked into it. Was it feasible? Was it possible? Turned out it was. An architect looked at the plans, at the blueprints, and said it was possible. So it was really just about getting more space and staying in the same neighborhood. So we got exact same units, a mirror image. So we doubled our space to make it a 4-bedroom, 4-bath. So a lot more room for the three of us and for guests. I used something like Angie's List. I don't know if it was Angie's List, but it was, service that you tell them what you're looking for and they give you like 3-4 recommendations. And so I had 3 of those companies come in to take a look and give an estimate and all that. And DMV was, I got the best feeling from meeting with Gus. Clearly the best of the 3, and that's how we went with them.
Well, I think when you take on a project of this magnitude, you get close very fast. And so I think, we joke around that he wore many hats, right? While he was doing the construction, he was also a therapist and a friend who kind of got us through this. A lot of emotion when you take on a project of this size, and he became a trusted partner right away, as Colin noted. He was someone that got a good feeling from right away, and he guided us through the process and had a lot of patience as well as a sense of humor, which helped a lot.
Yeah, and there were, like Gus was saying earlier, these renovations, they're like a living, breathing thing, and things go wrong and things change and you have to adapt, and they were always very good about keeping us abreast of that, and permitting and the licensing and all these things. There was like a never-ending things going wrong. I talked to Gus or his, I think she's the project manager, Chris, a lot. We spent a lot of time talking to them this year, but it's just out of necessity. As the homeowner, you have to be involved. So I was surprised at how much I was involved, but it's necessary.
And they were always available, which also we found we were grateful for, right? Because sometimes our days are 9 to 5 and you don't realize something until after 5 or 6 or on the weekends. And so they were always there available to answer our questions. So communication was gold standard for sure.
The advice and the suggestions, we initially were just going to take the wall down. And then, at Gus's I don't want to say urging, but just saying, well, you probably don't want to go through 2 major renovations or 3 or 4. So the project definitely snowballed into combining the 2 separate kitchens into one and replacing the floors, painting the ceiling because the ceilings didn't match. So the price escalated, of course, but we're so happy with the result. Yes. And we don't have to go through it again. I don't think we don't have to move out again.
No, that was the best advice he gave us. He's like, do you want to have to go, right? Because as he said, we were originally going to leave both kitchens the same and the floor. And he's like, you're going to have such a beautiful apartment. You are not going to want to do that. And you're not going to want to move out twice. That was great advice on his part to be like, just do it one time and ripping off a Band-Aid and be done with it. We could not be happier with the results. It's such a beautiful apartment. They did such an amazing job.
And DMV had a lot of experience with the permitting and the licensing, so we didn't have to do any of that. They had their own electricians, and then they had Laura, the kitchen designer, so that was nice too. We didn't have to shop for that. Gus brought her to us. Same deal. We met with her once, had a good feeling, and said, yes, we'll go with her, and she was great to work with too. So a big value of DMV. They brought everyone, even though it's not their employees, they brought them all to us.
And also anything we asked for or anything we thought about, they always had in New York, that's a big thing to say, I've got a guy. They always had a guy for whatever we were thinking about. So that was also really helpful that we didn't have to do shopping on our own, that if there was something we were thinking about or wanted to pursue, they had a contact that we could reach out to.
And we could have. They would have worked with someone else, but it didn't seem necessary at any step for us.
It feels like we're grown-ups now, that we have a real grown-up apartment. And as someone who loves to cook, just that kitchen is a dream kitchen. My mom would be so happy. I did want 2 refrigerators at one point, which they talked me out of, but just having a kitchen of this size, and it's just so comfortable and it's so friendly, and you can have people over and you don't feel cramped or crowded. It's so open and so friendly. It's just such a beautiful, welcoming space.
Yeah, there's room for 2 of us in the kitchen to both be doing things. We're not running into each other. Wanting the 2 fridges, that was another great thing that Laura/DMV, they suggested the fridge drawers, which gave us a lot more room. So that was a great kind of compromise solution. This room in general, we just have space, and we have our little 2-year-old monkey can literally run around now and smash a golf ball and throw things, and we didn't really have that room before. Yeah. And we have a lot more room for guests and visitors.
The user friendliness of the kitchen, things that I did not think I needed or wanted, they kind of suggested after doing so many kitchens, they put the thought into it for you to be like, well, we found that when we do this kitchen that people like this or they like that, and you're so overwhelmed you can't really think about it all, and so you're like, okay, if that's what you recommend. And now being in the kitchen, all of their suggestions were on point. I totally understand why they're like, you want the oven here, you want the refrigerator there, you want your light here.
The deep sink, the filtered water tap, the garbage can, and the recycling being hidden in a drawer. Neither of us were big like kitchen nerds, so we didn't even know what was available, and that was great to have Laura say, you know, other clients have loved this, or I have this in my own home. And
I think I want to just say that was essential to anyone doing their kitchen to kind of have that expertise over like the wealth of kitchens and apartments and houses that they've done, to kind of have that kind of input as you develop your dream kitchen, to have someone kind of provide that insight for you is just, I value that enough. It makes a big difference. But when my sister was here for an event we had, she was just like, never used the kitchen before, and she was like, it is so amazing that I never had to leave this corner, right? Like dishwasher's here, the oven's here, the sink's here, and it's all one spot. And then if you need to go over to the other side, all of that space was available just for cooking and chopping and stuff like that. So just a well thought out kitchen. And I mean, there's so many unexpected things that can occur when you're doing a project, you know, like this, combining apartments, and so we kind of built that time in, but for the most part, they kept to their timeline, and that is not something that most people, when you say you're doing like a construction in your home, people immediately go, oh my God, I'm so sorry, because as exciting as it is, it's stressful, and so to be already in our home before the holidays, right, and it only took like a couple of weeks to combine these apartments and build out a kitchen, when some of my colleagues and friends have been doing are still in it for maybe almost a year, we feel very fortunate. So I think like we would probably still be in a construction site if we had gone with another company. Your time is valuable, and being back in our apartment and in a living, clean, finished space, we can't ask for more than that. Very appreciative of that.
yeah, it was about 3 months, the whole project, but it's a big project. It's not something you can do quickly. I think working with someone else, it would have gotten done, but like we were saying before, all the suggestions they made, not sure every company would have all those suggestions. We didn't know even some of these things, like the fridge doors, I didn't even know this existed.
Yeah.
So things like that, it would have gotten done, but I think it got done much better and more attention to detail.
And because they're a trusted partner, we didn't see their suggestions as them just trying to do an add-on. Their suggestions were usually, once you thought about it, or like, that's actually a really good idea. We would have done that, we just hadn't thought about it. So I never felt like they were trying to upsell us. All of their suggestions were very like thoughtful and wound up being like a good choice for us. We were originally not going to change our floors, and Gus was like, are you crazy? We're like, no, we're just going to live like this for a while. He's like, no, do not do that. No, it makes a huge difference. He's like, you really want to do all this work on your apartment and people are going to come in and you're going to have like 2 different floors? Would not have been attractive.
And ceilings.
Yeah. Reach out, make the call, and you want to shop around, but I have a feeling like they will be the company you go with. We cannot say enough positive things about our experience with them. As I said, they were a trusted resource for us as we went through this reconstruction, and we really valued all of their advice and input. So we couldn't endorse them more.
Reach out.
And the therapy's for free.
Therapy's for free.
They did not charge us for the therapy.
Yeah, it's a conversation, so you definitely have to talk to them about what you want and what you don't want, and your budget and your timeline and all that, but they were great working with all those things.